Paltrocast. Well, Katie, how's your day going besides answering the same questions over and over and over and over?
My day's going great. And you know what? I don't mind answering the same questions over and over because at least I start to feel a little bit more confident in my answers, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. And you have a few job titles related to weak layers. Did you know that you wanted to do so much in the project when you started on it?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think that in some ways, as we were writing, um, it became kind of clear to Andrew, my co-writer, and I that Cleo was becoming increasingly sort of semi-autobiographical. And when the producers were reading it and we did a lot of, exploration calls with them, the way that they would hear me reading it and the way that they would hear me talking about it, they felt like I was their Cleo. And I felt like I can't do both. I can't do it all. But at the same time, I felt so close to the story that um, I decided that if I was surrounded properly by, the team that came together, I could pull it off because I was more so directorially a vision holder. And then from a performance standpoint, it was just really
Right.
about letting go of myself to be able to be this like deep, deep, deep like core of me in Cleo. And so it was kind of this like putting on and off of a jacket that I felt like as the director and actor, because it was like I had to take the jacket off to be the actor and play like a more vulnerable, stripped down, bared version of myself. And then I had to put the jacket back on and be a more confident, sort of stronger version of myself, to be the vision holder. And so um everything really is as a result of having the support that I did from my producers to give me the confidence to go for it.
You said director and actress, but there was also writer, producer. Were you also involved with craft services, stunts, transportation, and other titles as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, on indies you got to do it all. It's like bootstrapping a tech startup. Like it's all hands on deck for everything. And I think that ethos A is a lot of fun in production, and B, ends up being kind of contagious amongst the crew, and people feel like they do have the space to step up in other areas that might interest them. I mean, I will say like Christy Ryan, who came to set as a PA and left production having been a second AC, a stunt skier, and having a line in the movie because we needed to insert her to a moment. That
Hmm.
was kind of the way that we all had to tackle things, and that was what made it really special and feel really electric, really, was having that kind of energy.
Got it. So where was the movie filmed? Because these days you never know, things say Vegas and it's really New Mexico, or things say Louisiana and it's really Canada. You never know these days. So where was Weak Layers filmed?
Week Layers says Tahoe, and we were in Tahoe. I don't know if we
Oh,
ever say Tahoe in the movie, but we filmed the entire thing in North Lake Tahoe and at Palisades. So Palisades, Tahoe, their ski hill there. And then in the back country surrounding that area for some of the ski action as well as some of the scenes. But the lake you see is Lake Tahoe, and the ski hill is Palisades. And I think that having Tahoe play a sort of character as environment felt really important to the story. I think originally we had thought we would shoot in Canada in a ski town similar called Revelstoke, but it's so remote that traveling talent in and out was just getting like to be super complicated when we were putting that together. And looking at Tahoe and starting to, so the producers brought me down on a location scout to Tahoe to see if I could visualize it there. And as soon as I got there, I was like, this is it. This is the spot. They were so connected there already that in terms of bringing in other members of the community, extras, and the way that Palisades got on board in such a, not just like, cut us a check and we'll see if we can get you on the mountain, but they were like, we will shut down a chairlift to the public for you to shoot your final scene. We will, you know, get you guys on the tram before the public so that we can shoot a scene in the tram. We will go back and forth with you on creative that scares the shit out of us from a marketing standpoint because we believe in the spirit of making movies in Tahoe and being creative here. And so Tahoe ended up being such an excellent choice. And I think that it adds like a really beautiful backdrop visually to the story as well. Plus, we got hit with crazy amounts of snow, and the $15,000 worth of snow blankets never had to come out of the cube van.
Being a big music person, I know there's a lot of classic rock musicians who live in Tahoe. There's David Coverdale from Whitesnake. There's Mike Love for the Beach Boys. One or two members of Creedence Clearwater Revival are there. Any of that on your radar whatsoever? And it's fine if the answer is no.
Well, I didn't know that they lived there, but I felt like music was so important in developing our soundtrack because the way that ski movie, like traditional ski porn, they call it ski movies, work is that they have these epic kind of soundtracks that really carry you from one segment to the next. And I wanted the movie to feel almost segmented in a sense like that, where tonally the music gives you the cue as to what the energy of the place should be or of the scene should be. And we had an excellent music supervisor by the name of Dave Curtin who phoned in some really fun favors, and we actually talked a lot about having a sort of 80s 90s classic rock nostalgia kind of feel to the music, and we ended up going in a different direction because we wanted this to feel like a progressive throwback. So because of the stylistic sort of choices we were making in terms of buddy comedy bordering into rom-com territory and sort of blending those two genres, having a very sort of semi-stereotypical male, villain kind of character, we wanted the music to feel like it was really modern and progressive and gave you a window into like today's feeling in a ski town and not necessarily like yesteryear's feeling in a ski town. So that was a choice.
Yeah, some of these ski towns are real foodie destinations, to say the least. I don't say it in a pejorative way. I mean, there's concerts and there's foodie stuff. In other words, skiing is one of the things you do there. It's not just you only go to ski and you're bored out of your mind otherwise.
Totally. And I think that Tahoe in particular has got a really fun kind of community vibe outside of just skiing. There's great restaurants, there's the lake, there's cross-country skiing and biking and hiking. And I know that Chelsea Conwright, who played Tina, is a big foodie, and she was on a mission while she was not on set to find the best burger in Tahoe. She went to the River Rock, she went to the Plump Jack, she went to the Tap House. And I mean, those are businesses that were helping us in production as well. Nice. And she explored all over the place, sampling various burgers across Tahoe.
It's hard work. I get it.
It's tough.
Your star there. Well, the last question before I let you go, and I don't know if this is under an embargo thing or I just have to follow you on social media and to know, but are we allowed to know what's next from you? Because when we look at IMDb, let's face it, this movie dominates your IMDb right now. And some people wait to add their next project. So again, are we allowed to know what's next from you, Katie?
I am currently in development on a handful of different things. I love this comedy, action, sports combined space. I'm working. I've just newly been brought in on a project I can't really talk about it, but in the ice hockey world. Cool. And I also wrote a script with Evan, who played Gabe, my co-star in the rom part of the rom-com, not rom-com. And he and I wrote a script that's a coming of age story about an American girl who spends the summer in France. So it's a total departure from anything I've ever done. But I mean, I'm hopeful that Weeklers is a bit of a calling card for me, frankly, not to be too transparent about my strategic approach to my career here and lift the veil of the whatever wizard behind the operating mechanics of it. But sure. This is the first feature, and so much of the content that I've done beforehand has been, online marketing based brand content, sketches, etc. So to make this jump has been astronomical, for like an astronomical lift for me. And so I'm really hoping that I can use it to sort of be like a wedge, a pinky toe in the door that allows me to have the space really to explore these other ideas and concepts that I have. And so we'll see, but I'm really interested in the opportunity to further develop myself in this comedy action sort of space, but also try things outside of it.
I'm looking forward to that next project, whatever it is. And congrats on seeing Weak Layers through with your vision, wearing multiple hats. Great job.
Thank you so much, Darren. I really appreciate it.
Paltrocast.